Good afternoon, everybody. It is a rainy, drizzly day here in Middle Tennessee. I'm wild as a flower. I hope you are wild as a flower. And today we are going to be starting some seeds. So I'm going to show you my process. I don't know what I'm doing. I just wing it 98% of the time and hope for the best. I'm probably starting my seeds too early, but they're going to be indoors on my shelf in my dining room. So we'll see what happens. Figured, why not? Worth a shot, you know? Maybe I'm using all this time and energy for nothing. We'll see. But time will tell. Hope for the best. And let's see what we can do. All right, y'all, welcome to my kitchen. It is a beautiful disaster. I'm using this Jiffy Natural and Organic Seed Starting Mix. It came in this bag very, very dry. And I went in and I messed up and put it straight into the bins, the little containers, dry, and then I was sprinkling the water on it very delicately. Seed starting mix in general is very soft because it has to allow room for the delicate first baby roots. However, when I started watering it, I realized it was hydrophobic. That means the water was just getting on the top and it wasn't actually getting deep into the cells of the little containers. So I then had to dump it into this bucket, add some water, stir it around with my lovely stirrer, and then I had to re-put it back in here. So that's what we're doing. Once that's done, I kind of water it just a little bit just to make sure it's nice and saturated for the seeds. All right, this is what I'm talking about. See how the top looks nice and damp, you know, like it's moist. But then as soon as you scrape off that top layer, completely bone dry. So that means every time I water it, the water is not going to get down in there. So I need to empty these cells into the bucket, add some water to the consistency I think I'd like. Not too wet where it's like sopping, but not too dry to where it's still going to do this as soon as it dries out. Some of the cells were a little damp, which is nice, so it kind of clumps together, which is good. Then the other ones are just totally bone dry. See that? And that's not gonna grow good seeds because the roots obviously won't be getting watered and then the plant won't grow. So I'm gonna add a little bit of water. I'm gonna take my little spoon, stir it around as best I can here. One-handed. Until it's nice and it kind of clumps together, but it's not like one big log and it's not dripping soggy wet. The idea is I don't want to be able to squeeze it and have water drip out, ideally. I think that looks pretty good. So I'm going to give it a squeeze. A little bit of water comes out. So I think I've got too much water in there. So I'm going to add some more dirt and then mix that around and it should be perfect. All right, I've added some more dirt. Give it a good squeeze. Pretty good. Not dripping, which is nice. It doesn't get too compact when you squeeze it, which means it's still pretty fluffy, which is exactly what we want. This is the consistency I would like. Maybe it's too dry, maybe it's too wet, I don't know, but I'm going to try it anyways. I just wing it. So now we're going to take our dirt, repack our cells, and you don't want to stuff it in there too compact, because like I said, those roots are really delicate, and you don't want the soil to be too dense, because otherwise the roots aren't going to be able to go in there very well. So just carefully kind of place it in there. You can pack it a little bit, but I don't pack too much. Just a little bit of a finger tap. That's all I do. And I'm just going to go along and fill all of these cells as I go. And then I'm going to spritz it with a little bit of water just to make sure there's no big air bubbles when the soil kind of sinks in later. And yeah, just gonna keep doing this all the way down to all these cells. These are the seeds that I did last year. Some of them are new that I didn't do. Like these 2 tomatoes I'm going to do because last year I saw I had some tomato sprouts coming up, some starts right at the beginning of the season, and I was so excited. I said, oh my gosh, my tomatoes reseeded themselves. If you have a garden and you've grown tomatoes before, you know exactly what tomatoes grew. It was those dang cherry tomatoes. I had a ton of cherry tomatoes. So this year, I'm going to plant these guys and rip out any starts that happen to come up before I plant them because the cherry tomatoes are like a plague. Also, I'm going to do some lettuce, some dill. I'm going to try lavender again. I've tried it a couple of times. I can't ever get it to grow, but it's probably my fault. I don't know. Squash is always a good one. I'm not going to plant the beans or the peas just yet, just because they grow really well out in the bed and they grow fast. So I'm not going to worry about starting those just yet. Always try broccoli. I never get any broccoli, but you know what? I'm going to keep trying. One of these years, I'm going to figure it out. Watermelon, some pumpkin, cantaloupe, and I'm going to put a couple flowers and just kind of put things around and put them on my beautiful seed trays. See what grows. If something ends up not growing, I'll just plant something else and try it anyways. This actually was a seed from a cut up butternut squash that I had bought at the store. Like they were pre-cut butternut squash like cubes. And I saw there was 2 seeds in the bottom of the container, and I was like, let's see if it'll grow anything. And it looks like one of them sprouted. I wrapped it in a damp paper towel and stuck it in my windowsill for a week. And one of them sprouted. I thought, let's just see what happens. So now I'm going to transplant it. Look at that! From a grocery store butternut squash. Looks like the roots have grown into the tissue paper or like the paper towel. So I will carefully cut it and then just put the paper towel with my little seed and stick it out. How cool is that? And then all I'm doing is just taking a little toothpick, making some little pockets for the seeds. One's not got much dirt in it, but that's okay. And I'm taking my seed, putting it in there, just kind of lightly burying it. Stick it in there. Psh, psh. Another one. Put it in there. Bury it just a little bit so it still gets the heat. Just lightly tapping it. I'm not compacting it. I'm just kind of lightly pushing the dirt on top of it. Then I'm adding a label. All right, now that I have all of my seeds planted, I have my flowers up top with my lavender, marigold zinnia, and I also have some old columbine seeds I found. Then I also have my zucchinis, my squash, that butternut sprout. I also have some watermelon, pumpkin, and then we have some green peppers and spinach. And down below we have some lettuce, a couple varieties, and we also have some tomatoes, 2 different kinds. And I also have 2 different kinds of broccoli that I want to try. Thank you all for joining me today as I try my hand at planting some seeds and getting some to start. Hopefully I'll have some nice little plants by the time it's time to put them in the ground. We'll see if something pops up in the next 7 to 10 days, but I'll keep you guys posted as the days go on. And if anything else, nothing ventured, nothing gained, as my mother-in-law likes to say. So you know what? It was just a fun afternoon project for me. Really wasn't able to do much outside as it rained a lot. So, let's see what happens. I'll probably have to up-pot them here in a couple weeks, which is fine. I have some other dirt that we can use and some bigger pots. But hopefully this will help get my garden off to a good start this year. Really looking forward to it. I've got some good dirt, and each year my garden has just gotten better, and so I'm really looking forward to it. And let's see what we can do this year. I hope you had a good time today. I hope you have a beautiful day tomorrow with whatever you're doing. And I'm wild as a flower. I hope you are wild as a flower, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.